I just realised.
Problems. I believe we are live now.
Yep, we should be live. I'll just post the link up. Yeah, sorry, it's total pain in the ass. Maybe wait till I get the link posted.
Yeah.
Bloody Streamlabs. Okay.
And once you've got that posted, do you want to go straight into?
Yeah, we'll go straight into quali.
Okay.
Where's the share button?
Once you've got that posted.
Here we go.
Yeah, we'll go straight into quali.
Where's the share button? Alright, it is posted.
There it is.
Okay, boys, we're live. Link is posted. Let's kick this off, yeah?
Alright,
Let's
get
get into our exhibition round. Keen to see who produces what times tonight. It should be a good race.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll just put up messages. I'll just check everyone's in. Yep, everyone's good.
So in the warm-up, Diswood's actually got himself the fastest time overall, so I guess we'll see if he can replicate that in the actual quali settings.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't surprise me with his earlier efforts throughout the week, and just even earlier on today he's been producing some fantastic pace. Several Div 1 drivers from practice lobbies for Season 7 testing, and he's up there with the best of them, so
absolutely
one to keep an eye on for sure.
Alright, let's do it. Everyone's in. Let's just check that we've got all the Mustangs. Yep, sweet. Start qualifying. Good luck, people.
Good luck, everyone. So who's your pick for qualifying tonight, lads?
Oh, man.
It's hard to go past Diswood.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diswood and
him, Apex, and Tate, I think will be very close.
Yeah, I agree. Apex has certainly shown his pace throughout Season 6, so I'd be surprised if he wasn't up top. Then again, he may not be gelling with this car. It's not to everyone's taste.
Yeah, that's an understatement. But yeah, we'll see how everyone goes now as we see them all come through one of the longest pit exits in the history of Perth.
Yeah. A few right on top of each other, jostling for position already. Good to see people looking racy.
Yeah, definitely.
On that topic, though, we see Diswood's only just coming out of the pits now, so he's looking for a bit of clean air.
Absolutely, giving himself plenty of space and opting to not go for any kind of slipstream or anything like that. So
yeah, the benefits aren't really that big around this track. It's largely an aero track. You want a bit of free space, just be able to get into your own groove, do your own thing.
Yep. Of course, it would be pretty helpful if you catch someone right at the final corner and get the run up the hill, but obviously the chances of that happening are fairly slim, catching you at the perfect time. But
yeah, exactly. Trying to find that perfect gap and then match them for pace throughout the rest of the lap, and yeah, managing that's going to be difficult. But Apex Umper's already out to a decent lead, but this is only out lap, so we'll see what he can produce.
It's interesting that Apex is, he's gone for first out the pits, get a bigger gap as possible, and the other contender that we had is Diswood, who's getting a big gap behind, last one out the pits, so they're taking completely kind of opposite strategies on their outlap here.
Yeah, different end of it. Look, both end up with the same result. The only benefit from Apex is that he may get an extra lap, providing the amount of time. I'm not too sure how many laps are going to get in tonight. 10 minutes, though.
Yeah, 10 minutes. Plenty of time to get some running done in these Group 3 Mustangs.
Definitely.
See. A couple of people actually side by side coming into turn 4 as well, so it's not how you want to be running your qualifying lap.
Well, we're seeing a fair group actually. Oz Tormentor, Cloakade, Lardy Bar, and even Frosty Tops close to that mix. followed by Smooth Blanket and Prima Phoenix. It's a fair old pack there at the moment, actually.
Yeah, I think there's a fair few eyes on Prima Phoenix.
Yeah.
After the spa round that they participated in last season, I think it caught a fair few people's attention. So it'd be interesting to see where they settle into the field.
Yeah, absolutely. They're up against one of our wheel-to-wheel seasoned vets, and yeah, they hung with them for most of their races. So definitely one to keep an eye on.
So here we go. We got Apex coming through for his first hot lap.
Mid-30s, mid-30s here. Oh, he's got a
30. Oh, nice.
Come out absolutely swinging tonight with 30.0.
Next we got Tormenta.
It's going to be a pack of times popping up here. 32.9, 31 flat, 31.4, 30.5, 30.2.
Oof.
Tate with a 30 flat
nice.
as well.
30.005.
Someone has gone very deep in turn 1 there to start their second lap.
He's got back to the
think it
picture
might
as
be
well.
Packer with a mid-30 as well.
Where's
high 30.
Who am I looking for?
Renegade becomes
I think that
Flucker. And
might have been Tate that came off at turn 1 because he's just exiting the pits now, so he's
here comes
obviously reset himself.
Diswood. See what he can do. A 29.8.
There it is.
So he's
Solid.
putting it on early.
Yeah,
Nice
he's certainly
work.
not hanging around. His strat to get a bit of clean air is certainly paying off for him opening lap.
Interesting, man.
Yeah, Primo with a mid-30 as well to get provisional 4th as well. So 30.2, very good time.
30.2.
So we had Diswood's driver value we were estimating slightly behind Apex, but yeah, they're all just estimates at this stage. But yeah man, nice lap.
It's a great
Absolutely.
lap. I'm sure he'll be pretty happy with that until the possibility of it getting beaten.
Yeah. Still early days, 1 lap down, but there's many laps to go. And
We should have another 3 or 4 coming in.
Apex doesn't improve on his lap just then.
Here comes Prima and Tate, I believe, is it?
Tormenta.
Tormenta,
yeah.
okay.
Prima, they're actually getting...
Prima had a bit of a draft.
So she got some slipstream, but then down by a fair bit. Maybe got held up towards the back end of that lap. Cloakade improving with a 31.5. It's a solid lap time.
Good improvement, yeah. DC with 30.9. Good time.
No improvement from Smooth Blanket. Renegade with a 31.9. So kind of seeing where the field's settling out right now. 32.1 from Flucker.
Diswood improves
faster.
again.
Wow.
So he goes 0.6 faster. That's
600.
Alright, let's jump on
Sorry,
with Apex.
yes, sorry. My bad.
Apex is coming, he's next in line across the start finish.
Yep. Yeah, there's not much of a gap between Apex and Diswood, but when you're looking at nearly 2/10 around this sort of a track, it is difficult to get that time back, and especially when you're looking at high 129s, low 130s, that tenth is extremely hard to find at times. So it might only be a tenth or two, but it is quite a sizable gap.
Well, they've all got
also pushing for those little, the little extra, a kilometre or 2 faster on the exit of a corner can push you wide and make you spin and force you into more mistakes too. So
yep, you've really got to be on the ball to put it all together for a lap. So
we've got Tormenta coming across the line here. I believe that means 32.3. I believe that means Prima might have made a mistake because she started her lap in front of Tormenta and is now a fair way back. So.
It's now finished behind, yeah.
Next across the line should be Flucker.
I've seen a few cross the line. They might be resetting themselves. There we go. Flucker improves.
Yeah, nice work.
Yeah, improves by a solid 7-8 tenths from his previous lap.
Frosty Top unable. Diswood going to come across the line again. We'll see how he goes. He was a fair way down throughout the first sector, so I don't know if he'll be... Yeah, he's 20 seconds off, so he would have been resetting himself for another fast lap here.
Trying to give himself a bit more free space. It looked like he was catching up to a couple people there, so it looked like there are a couple people just on a reset lap just to be able to get themselves back into a groove and set up for the next lap.
They've all got time for a couple more laps by the looks of it.
I don't think we'll be seeing an improvement from Apex Humper here. He just came through the final sector timing, second down. So.
All right, that's okay. He's lining up a hot lap here. This next one could be a good one.
I think Oz Tormentor will be the next across the line.
Where is he?
13th, and then followed by Cloakade in 11th. So, and there's a pack of 3 or so there as well. So.
It's a bit glitchy tonight, this lobby. I haven't got full control of the keyboard, so we don't have all the usual views like bumper cam and everything tonight.
From Oz Tormentor.
30.7 from Slarty Bar, not bad.
Cloakade with an improvement as well of a 31.4, so that all of that group. DCE with a 30.7 and Smooth Blanket with a 30.3. So now the times are coming down now. And that 30.7 has only gotten DCE 7th, so that's just showing how competitive the top end of this lobby is at the moment. So the top 5 separated by less than half a second.
So we're seeing Prima Phoenix and Slarty Bar get a bit bump and grind coming through as it turns 5.
Yeah, what is going on there?
I believe one or the other is not happy with one of them getting in the way of a quali lap, I think there. That was,
Either way, it looks like they found a little bit of space now. Let's hope it stays that way and they can punch out a great time for their final lap.
Absolutely. And we see Apex Humper coming along that final straight thing, whatever you want to call it, to finish his next lap.
Here we go.
Looks like most will get at least just one more lap in. I think there might be 1 or 2 that aren't going to make it around in time. So 3/10 down he is.
Okay.
I think Diswood might have lucked out here. He may not cross the line before the time runs out. Although I think I just saw him go purple on the first sector.
Who else we got crossing line now? It's so hard to...
Cloakade comes across and improves. 31 flat now. Goes up 1 spot. No improvement from Primer after we saw her have that little run-in with, I believe it was Slarty Bar. Frosty Top looks like he's jumped into the pits. He's not
he's done.
Not going to go any further. He's just chilling.
Tate goes up.
29.9.
Oh, that puts... Wow. Tate's up to second. Nice.
As well, but
he's knocked Apex
out of
second
huge.
Place.
Okay.
That is massive.
Alright.
That's time done, so everyone that crosses the line, this is their final lap. Diswood's going to be the first one to cross it here.
Cross the line again. He's not going to improve. He was nearly 3/10 down.
It's only 2/10 down there.
His second sector, so he's clawed it back in the last sector, but it's not going to be enough to improve.
Let's see what Apex can come up with. He's coming around the final corner now.
He's half a tenth down coming through that sector, so we'll see if he can make it up through the final corner.
All eyes on Apex.
Absolutely. We'll see if he can improve. I'm sure he's not too happy about getting pipped off a pole, let alone drop down to 3rd.
Yeah, definitely.
And he does improve, but just 7,000, so not enough to take another spot, unfortunately for him. Alright, next across the line should be Oz Tormentor and Cloakade, 12th and 9th, so we'll see if they can improve on their final quali lap here. It's like no improvement from either of them. We got Slarty Bar and DCE coming across next. No improvement from Slarty Bar, no improvement from DCE.
Prima's back out that lap as well.
I believe there's one more car coming, and it's Renegade. I don't know if they're going to improve looking at their time. I don't think so.
Doesn't look likely, no.
No, 7/10 down, so...
There we go.
That's going to be our qualifying. Diswood and Tate.
Picked Diswood from a mile away, as you can tell, but not by much. It was only 8/100ths of a second between Diswood and Tate 2J. Way closer than I expected it to be.
Just under a 10th back to Apex as well, 3rd, so it's a very close qualifying session.
Biggest surprise there was Tate, I think.
Yeah.
I saw Tate had some good pace last round of the off-season at Seaside, but he's really showed it in the Group 3s there. I know he had a bit of trouble with damage at Seaside in the Group 1, so maybe he's feeling more comfortable in the Group 3s.
Alrighty.
So now we'll see something a little unusual for Wheel to Wheel, and that's a rolling start.
And
a field full of
and 13
Generally-
Mustangs.
But
Generally not the
no
car of
stranger
choice.
to having a Mustang at the front, as we've
No,
seen
all throughout
last
season
season.
6.
Yes.
Been quite a regular.
Alrighty, here we go, boys.
I reckon this top 5 is going to be pretty close. They're only separated by less than half a second throughout all of the top 5 here, so...
Yeah, the rolling start certainly adds another layer to it. Keeps people a little bit more separated and makes people work for the positions that they want rather than just getting a slightly better start than the next car.
Yep.
All keeping it fairly clean so far. Smooth bank a little bit wide.
It's going to cost him the slipstream of the cars ahead as well and put him under some pressure from Slidey Bar. He's now going to have the slipstream coming up into turn 4. So we'll see if Slidey Bar decides to make the move up the inside.
Slidey Bar's closing, but not close enough.
Oh, I believe DCE's run a little wide there. Almost got passed by CS Packer as well. So some nice little battles forming throughout the field now as well. This wood's already out to a 1.1 second gap, but Tate is being pressured by Apex Humper and Prima a lot at the moment.
Yes, I know Apex Hunter has mentioned in the past that his qualifying pace doesn't reflect his race pace, so I would expect him to be making some moves around the races tonight.
And by race 2 and 3, we're going to see the tyre wear start to kick in with the 15-minute races.
Yeah. Yep, you'd know all about the front tyre wear in the Mustang there.
Apex Humper running very wide.
Probably picking up some dirty tyres. That's not going to help him on the final corner and the run through the start-finish straight. So he's
almost dropped out of slipstream, but Prima's going to have a good go at him here, I reckon.
Yeah.
Maybe a little closer than she might want to be, so you can't get the
Prima gets up the inside. Oh, it could be a penalty.
Oh, that could be some track limits trouble there.
That could be a time penalty there, yeah.
She's going to go for the outbreak into turn 1, does it beautifully up the inside, holds it on the apex and makes the position. So
fantastic car control and car position there.
Yeah, wow.
Fantastic awareness from Apex Humper as well to not try and force too much of an error, let it happen, regather his thoughts, and come back at her later on in the race.
Absolutely, it was great driving by both of them to give plenty of space and make sure they hit their right markers and stuff.
Yeah, Tate, very impressive.
You see CS Packer go down the inside of DCE Racing. So he's picked up 7th.
Clocade's got themselves a very big penalty, a 3.2 second penalty somewhere after the center S's, so that's big.
Yeah, that's huge.
See, that battle for 5th is starting to heat up though. Now a group of 4 starting to come into contention for it. DC just hanging on to the back of them.
Yeah, well, the good thing about... Oh, yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, the good thing about the next 2 races is the grid will be set by the race results, so...
back at the front of the field, Tate is right on the rear bumper of Diswood, so Diswood might have made a mistake throughout the second half of that lap and has given Tate a chance to make up 8 tenths or so on him.
Real close, yep. He's looking for a move around, but that's a tough part of the track to try and figure out where you want to position yourself. And Diswood's smart. He's playing it very close against the wall to not give away that inside position. So we see Tate duck out and try to go around the outside, but it's not going to happen around turn 1.
Back as well, Slidey Bar going for the overtake on CS Packer for that 6th position as well, so plenty of racing going on throughout the field. Tate's actually gone around the outside. No, he's pulled back in. That battle for 1st really heating up at the moment. Tate's looking for any chance he can get.
Gosh, he's going to get that. He's got the inside line.
The inside.
Good on the brakes there.
Oh, bit of a tap. Bit of a tap.
Bit of rubbing, but beautiful driving from the 2 of them, giving plenty of room.
That's a tough corner to not run wide as well. So Tate with some fantastic car control to be able to give Diswood just enough room to be able to stay on track.
Absolutely. That's it's a very tricky track that always catches tricky corner that always catches me out. So
yep, I've been known to run very wide through there, and Gran Turismo is very unforgiving with penalties out that way as well. You lose a heap of time, you pick up dirty tyres, and then you get slapped with a 3-second penalty. It's insane.
And that fighting that those 2 have been doing has brought Prima and Apex back into this, so they're just barely within slipstream. If Prima can get a good run through the final corner, she can definitely be in with a chance to catch them back up to the rear end of them.
Definitely. Tate's used a little bit more fuel than the likes of Diswood, Prima and Apex. And Apex's tyres are looking the best out of this top 4 as well.
Yeah.
Which doesn't surprise me. He's been pretty good at doing some longer stints through Season 6.
So, Diswood having a look around the outside of Tate into turn 1. He's going to hold it through the centre S's to have the inside through the next section. But it's not going to give him enough, and he's going to tuck in back behind. That's going to give Prima a great run on him coming out down into turn 4 as well, because it slows you down. You don't get the optimal angle around that long sweeping left. Diswood having another look up the inside of Tate just to get him looking in his mirrors, maybe make him miss a braking marker or a turning point.
Showing lots of pressure still. And yeah, from first through fourth, we're only looking at under a second, or just over a second now. So really, really tight at the top end of the field.
So let's jump back, do a run through from 5th back to the back of the pack. So we've got Smooth Blanket in 5th, followed by DCR.
DCE Racing, yeah.
DCE. CES Packer, Slarty Bar, Frosty Tops, and Flacker. I think they're mates.
So, Cloakade back in 11th after serving that 3.2 second penalty.
But good to see that even though they're new to wheel to wheel, they are understanding the penalty burning rules and regs. So unfortunately, it has dropped him back to 11th, but he certainly burnt the penalty and done the right thing. So
and then 12th, we've got Renegade, who's that colour on that Mustang is absolutely beautiful. I love that pink to purple fade that he's got. And then Oz Tormentor in 3rd, not too far behind him. Back at the front, they are. Prima's having a sneaky look up the inside of Diswood as he tries to make the move on Tate. They've got a little bit more of a gap back to Apex.
Bit wide.
Diswood's looking around the outside now.
Yeah, a bit of a better run. Although Tate does have the inside into the braking zone into turn 4.
Now, does Prima try and bump, or does she go up the inside of both of them? Looks like she went for a little bump on Diswood, and that's actually got him the spot. As he runs very wide, gets a little loose on the curb. But now Prima's looking around the outside.
Oh, that is insane driving.
Meanwhile, Apex Hunters just watching them all battle and hoping that they wear out their tyres and can pick them off once the race edges on.
Wow, Prima is doing great.
Yeah. Tate did really well to hold that spot around the outside and the hairpin on Diswood as well. Apex Hunter looking a little bit more aggressive on the back end of Prima as well.
Ooh, making a move.
The inside and the hairpin. Unfortunately for him, that turns into the inside of the next corner for Prima, though.
That's right.
Yeah, good car positioning from both of them there.
So tyre wear's going to start taking effect next 2 laps.
Yeah, definitely. So we see Tate and Diswood are very similar for tyre wear. Diswood does have a little bit more fuel, and then both Prima is better than the first 2, and Apex is better again. So I'm wondering if we're going to start seeing some moves from Apex with a little bit more front-end grip.
Diswood pulls out alongside Tate to go up the inside into turn 1. Oh, Tate's gone a little deep. He's going to hold the inside for the second part, but Diswood's going to have the better line.
Yeah, fantastic forethought from Tate as well. He could have punched wide on the exit of the centre S's there, but decided not to.
Looking very racy on the rear of Tate here. She does not want to sit behind. They're going 3 wide. Oh,
here comes Apex.
2 wide.
Apex is through.
Apex has picked up on Prima.
He's
against
picked his spot well there. He's waited till just 2 laps to go to make his move after watching these guys battle for the past 3 or 4 laps. So Prima's not giving it up without a fight, though.
No, she's not letting it go easily.
Great part about having the inside for that corner is it's a double Apex right and then a hairpin as well that you have the inside for to get the advantage, but still side by side through the second part.
2 wide for the majority of the first half of the track. That is some fantastic racing.
Oh, it looked like Prima wanted to send it up the inside there, but thought better of it. Still right on the back of these guys.
There we go. I think we can start seeing Apex's better tyre control coming into effect here. He's starting to just look that little bit more edgy through the centre section of this course, which does rely quite heavily on tyres. We see Tate get a little bit...
Oh, here we go.
On the
Apex.
outside.
Great positioning now for turn 1.
He has picked his spot amazingly. He's waited, just watched them fight, let them do what they wanted to do, and now he's coming through. What that has done is that's given Diswood a 1 second gap. Tate tries to send it back up the inside.
Gets the move done.
He's
Not
going to
giving it up
sweep around
easily,
the
though.
outside and then have the inside for this next left. Looks like Proma's going to try and sweep along with him as well and sneak up the inside.
Ooh.
Apex going very wide. Both cars competing for the slipstream here. Looks like Apex is going to have it. Proma's going to outbrake him. He's going around the outside. Proma has to stop on the apex of the corner because Tate went in a little slow. But she gets the position done. Gets the overtake done, apologies. And Diswood is now out to a 1.2 second gap at the front as well, so
Diswood's certainly starting to pull away now that Tate has found his position, and Prima and Apex going at it is certainly letting Tate breathe a little bit easier, knowing that those two are going to be fighting for the last of the lap.
Yeah. Here we go.
Apex went a little wide into the second hairpin there as well, so it's given Proma a little bit more breathing room. Not much, as you see him right back on the rear bumper of her, but maybe just enough. If she can hold the right line through this next corner. They've actually broken the slipstream to Tate now as well, so she won't have any slipstream for the run up the hill, which could be the big...
Could be the big decider here. If Prima's smart, she'll hug the inside here and not give any of that extra track position to Apex to be able to
Absolutely.
give him that running edge.
Congratulations to Diswood taking race 1 out here tonight with a 1.7 second gap. Tate coming across for second. Prima taking third from Apex. CS Packer got past Smooth Blanket in the last couple laps. Smooth Blanket taking 6th. Slidey Bar coming across the line in 7th. Followed by Frosty Top. Cloakade coming across the line for 9th. Renegade's going to take 10th. Plucker is going to take 11th. We've got Oz Tormentor for 12th. And something has happened at DCE, and he's now down in 13th position.
Yeah,
So
on
lap 5, 17 seconds lost. So a big spin, I'm assuming, there, unfortunately for them.
So the top 4 have been a really, really close race for race 1, and it's they've certainly demonstrated their skills and shown some fantastic car control and forethought as to where they want to place their overtakes and certainly where they want to make their moves. It's really, really good to see.
Yeah, great racing. Great racing.
So no surprises there either with Diswood coming out on top. Definitely a surprise from Prima to come in third though as well.
I think Diswood might have been a little worried. I think he might have been a little worried when Apex started to make his moves, but luckily he had to fight a fair bit with Prima and Tate, which cost him a bit of time and couldn't hold the slipstream to Diswood and make the gap up enough.
Yeah, definitely. It gave Diswood that little bit more freedom right up the front. By the time he started breaking that 1 second barrier, it certainly calms the nerves a little bit, but by any means he can't make a mistake because that pack of 3 will be right on you again. So nerves of steel from Diswood to be able to maintain first place.
Yeah, and what we're going to see in the next race, since it's 5 minutes longer, that tyre wear is going to be a little bit more brutal. So saving your tyres and managing them a little bit better is going to be so important.
Definitely, and that was something I noticed Apex was doing the best at. Maybe because the other 3 were looking a bit more racy and a bit more battly first on, or through the first 3 or 4 laps. But I'm wondering if we're going to start seeing some pit stops.
Actually, I need to...
Will people get through for fuel in 15 minutes?
I think they will make it. It could be close. Maybe a little bit of short shifting could be required, but... I feel like we should be good for fuel.
Yeah, fuel will be fine. Might be worth could one of you guys throw a message in there that they're not going to need a pit stop in this next race, 10 laps. That'll just throw everything out of whack.
The no stops. Oh, yep.
Yeah, just...
Yep.
Yeah, so as we see Apex in the chat, who recruited those 3, so he's not exactly happy being placed in 4th behind some of the newbies to wheel to wheel.
I think he's going to do better this race though with the tyre wear kicking in.
Also, I'm pretty sure that's how half of Div 1 felt when he showed up last season, so he's getting a little bit of his own medicine now.
That's for sure.
Absolutely. Brands, I'm just having flashbacks to Brands Hatch where he finished, 20 or 35 seconds in front of second place. Absolutely demolished the field, so he certainly showed his worth there, but going the other way, seemingly hitting some nerves. And honestly, I don't blame him. you're used to running up front with the top end of Div 1 and then come through for an exhibition race and end up coming fourth.
Yeah.
Certainly goes to show that just because you're new doesn't mean you're not quick by any means.
Absolutely. And it shows that, because we've got, I think, 4 guys from our normal seasons that have raced in here a couple of times throughout the field, and shows that, you don't have to be, the fastest in the game. You can be, slower. We've got drivers of all different skill levels throughout wheel to wheel. If anyone's thinking of joining, just go for it. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. That's another good thing about wheel to wheel with the way that our points system is scored. It doesn't matter if you finish 4th or 5th or 6th within your own lobby. It simply matters what your total race time is. So you're racing against the people that are at your skill level and at your pace. You're certainly not restricted to just those people in your lobby.
Absolutely.
It opens up the door for absolutely anyone to come and join us. And at the end of the day, you can only move up. You can only improve.
As we get this second race started, 15-minute one, so a couple extra laps. Gonna have some more fuel burn, some more tire wear on. We'll see.
Yeah, 3 more laps of
maybe happen.
3 more laps of worn tyres. Let's see if this works to Apex's advantage.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, is the grid scrambled?
The grid doesn't seem to be.
Yeah, that is not right, is it?
No, that is not right.
Nope.
So, this was in 7th.
Actually,
first, so.
You know what? I did.
Is that on a random set?
No, it was set to fastest first. It should have been based on previous race results. We're going to have to exit.
Even then, Apex didn't get first. Falling.
No, I know what I did wrong. Sorry, it's wrong lobby setting.
That's right. Wouldn't be wheel to wheel without some technical drivers.
Smooth Blanket gives it the old handbrake flick into the wall to start it off. It's beautiful. Love to see it.
Here we go.
I bet Prema would have been spitting out her water when she saw that she was starting in 13th there. I would have been the same after a great battle in the last race to be starting in last.
Yeah, no doubt.
Alrighty, hopefully this remembers the last race results.
I'd be surprised if it didn't. We've also had...
It could have scrambled it with the second race in the middle, but we should be okay, I think.
Should be good. Am I seeing this correct? We've had a time of day change as well, so it might play with certain people's braking markers. I know I fell for that trick in the first half of Season 6, being my first season. I'd set braking markers for certain shadows on the track, and then it'd change for race 2 and I'd lose all my reference points. So I had to start thinking about where I actually need to look for braking markers. So I wonder if that's going to fall to the same trick for these people tonight.
Looks like the grid's set properly this time, so we should be good to get away.
Yep, everyone's in their rightful spot. It's weird seeing the rolling start though. I'm not used to that. It's always good watching people try and launch cars properly to see where they end up come turn 1.
Yeah, I don't think Apex was expecting it either, because in the practice lobby I saw him practicing launching the Mustang from a grid start, so I think he was expecting the grid start as well, but I'm sure most will be fairly happy about the rolling start of the exhibition race. Obviously it helps avoid a little bit of carnage when you have a bit of a gap between driver skill levels as well into turn 1 from a grid can be a little chaotic.
Yeah, it certainly evens things up a bit more and takes it more to race pace skill rather than just what you get off the line. Not a lot of people have had their races not so much ruined, but a lot more work created for them. As we see, Apex is already looking pretty racy against Prema, trying to make a move early and get that free air. Duck back in behind to go through the centre section of the course. I think he's starting to play the long game. As I said before, his tyre management is certainly up there. Running back through the field as well, Smooth Blanket's already picked up a second penalty.
Oh, that's brutal.
He's going to need to burn that, so that's going to hurt him in 6th.
I think it'll be interesting to see what CS Packer can do here, because they, I don't think they had the greatest qualifying. I think they started in 7th or 8th, somewhere around there, and had to fight up to 5th throughout that first race. Now, just on the back of these top 4 as well, so it could be another contender in the battle.
Yeah, certainly one to keep their eye on. He's been able to stick with him so far. Apex is looking very racy against Primo, looking to make a move and hopefully make it stick.
Tate got out in front.
We might be seeing that gap to the guys out the front growing a little and want to get right up on their tail and not have a repeat of last race.
Look at Packer right up behind Phoenix and Apex Humper.
Yeah, it looks like Packer might be able to help Apex Humper out here with a bump.
Yep.
Well, to help him confirm that position over Phoenix.
As he plucks back in behind Phoenix.
So Tate's taken the lead from Diswood. He did that in turn 1 through the Centre S section as well, so plenty of moves happening throughout the field. Now Phoenix having to go defensive against CS Packer. Slidey Bar will love seeing this as well. He'll be wanting to get on the back of this pack as well.
Running further down the field as well, Oz Tormentor, DCE Racing and Renegade are looking fairly well grouped up at the moment.
I would expect...
just started to split.
I would expect to see DCE maybe push through the field a little bit after he had a very good qualifying and then had that one mistake
he's
on
moved
lap
up.
5 last race.
There you go.
So
he's ducking down the inside of Oz
DCE
Tormentor.
getting back up into the top kind of 7-8 area.
Yeah, definitely.
Back at the front, Diswood's looking up the inside of Tate, coming onto the home straight as a stretch of 5 cars, maybe 6 if Slidey could get in the slipstream, but...
We see Apex has pulled out about a half-second lead on Phoenix, but she will also be in his toe, so that's going to stay fairly consistent on the run down to turn 1.
Yeah, top 3 coming into the braking zone for turn 1, separated by just 0.2 as well, so...
Diswood trying to make a move, but Tate's holding that around the outside.
It's incredible to hold around the outside. It also opens you up from an attack from Apex Humper, as he had a quick look up the inside coming around that left-hand sweeper. Diswood very aggressively wanting to get past Tate here, not wanting to sit behind him at all.
The inside braking moves are done.
Oh,
Apex
Tate's
is going to get
broke himself a lot there as well.
He's definitely run wide. So manages to hold on to the position while Prima's looking very aggressive trying to get past Apex. Meanwhile, CS Packer's very hot on the tail.
From last game. He's just he's sitting there watching, waiting for his time, waiting for his spot.
Yep,
Packer and Slidey's up there, man. Look at these guys all.
Yeah, that whole.
Slidey Bar's got himself a 1 second penalty, so that's going to be pretty hard to serve off.
That's going to be him dropping down.
Brutal.
Yeah, basically the top 5 now is all really close in contention.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Diswood's actually got himself a little bit of a gap back to Tate now, up to 1 second, so he's broken that slipstream. Tate has got a better exit and has made up about 0.2.
Apex
so
was very
far
slidey on
the
the entrance into that last left-hander before the run up to the straight, so that's going to give Prima a fair look coming into turn 1 if she's got pace.
Yeah, I think
Apex
is just in the slipstream of Tate, so helping him hold off Phoenix for another lap there. Still very, very close together on the exit of the Centre S's. Coming down into the run to turn 4, we'll see if Phoenix has a look up the inside. She doesn't, she decides to sit behind. Gone a 1/4 of a second purple through Sector 1 though. So, and Apex has run a little wide. She's got up the inside throughout the left-hander there. Turns into the outside for the next corner, so we'll see if she can clear him before the braking zone. She doesn't. Goes for the undercut into the hairpin. Some very close, great quality racing from these two, and she actually clears him before the next hairpin, so makes the move stick.
Wow.
Beautiful racing there.
That was a fantastic move to watch.
All this early fighting, though, is going to make it tough in the last few laps.
It definitely is. We see Diswood just out front. He's gone half a second purple, and his tyres are looking the best out of the whole group all the way down to 5th. So that free air, being able to run his own race, is certainly paying off for him.
Absolutely, and I think that's why he was so aggressive on trying to get that move done on Tate, because he knew he had that little bit of extra pace and wanted to use it properly.
Absolutely. Further down the list as well, we've got a hot battle for 10th at the moment as well. So we see Flucker, Frosty Top, and DC Racing. They've been chopping and changing for the last lap or so.
DC's in a good spot here. He's got a very good overspeed on the cars ahead.
Yeah, definitely.
Braking nice and early though. Nice and safe.
He takes one position.
Come into the back of the others.
So he needs to. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Flucker with some good awareness there. He was aware that DCE was coming up the inside and was respectful, gave him just that little bit of room and said, yep, position's all yours. Unfortunately, Oz Tormentor was in that group as well, but he ran wide on the last lap through turn 4, so I certainly dropped him back a couple of seconds. Oh! Who went around? We see Flucker's gone around on the exit of turn 4.
Oh, no.
That's going to hurt him.
That's
Even 13th if you're going to jump the replay
just
on
getting
that.
going now, so that's, yeah, now 10 seconds almost behind Oz Tormentor.
Yeah, that's going to hurt big time.
Yeah. So you see CS Packers dropped off that pack at the top 4, as well as Tate and Diswood just starting to build a little bit of gap from Phoenix and Apex Humper, so...
Yeah,
Phoenix could be in striking range here from Humper if
Yeah,
he wants
definitely.
to make the move with no slipstream to help her defend it.
Yeah, absolutely. She's playing it fairly standard at the moment. It doesn't look like Apex has got a great run, but he's definitely making the dive down into turn 1 and gets it done in the braking zone. Leaves himself open to the crossover, but no, Phoenix is tucked back in behind, and Apex has got the move done through the centre S's.
Smooth blankets in the pits.
Oh, Apex has run wide, given Phoenix a great run on down into turn 4, and she's got Apex back under the brakes.
Yep, barely able to clear him throughout the
Fantastic
corner.
move.
Tate ran a little wide there as well, so that's going to bring her back into his slipstream, and she's going to come right up onto the back of his car into this next section.
Meanwhile, Diswood's out to nearly a 3-second lead, so he's looking quite comfortable out the front at the moment.
I think Tate might be struggling with some tyre wear here at the moment. It looks like he's just running a little wide, a little deep under brakes each corner, losing a tenth here and there, so maybe not as comfortable on them worn tyres.
A little bit more fuel than the others as well. Not by much, but over an endurance race, it can certainly make a difference.
Yeah, it'll definitely make a difference coming into the official Season 7 when we've got them 45-minute races. Even the 20-minute ones, I think you're going to add a little bit of spice to the race one. Maybe have to save your tyres or open up a one-stop possibility. So but this battle for second, is starting to heat up a lot. Phoenix looking like she wants that second place.
She wants that place. As we see Tate going very deep into turn 1, managed to keep hold of it, and they stay in that same order.
He looked like he didn't get a great run through the center S's, but was able to stop it on the apex enough to deny Phoenix a move up the inside.
Yeah, it was definitely enough to block that move. It seems like they're settling in for the run down to turn 4.
Yeah, I'm seeing Phoenix start to run a little wide and get a little bit of understeer through corners as well, so that tyre is definitely coming into play now on lap 7 of 10.
I'm actually looking
she
at
looks
the
up the
tyres.
inside of Tate.
Looking at the tyres between all three of them, and there's nearly no discernible difference between them. So it's very interesting to see that those three being battling for the last 6 or 7 laps. And comparing them to Diswood, he's sitting very comfortable with a nearly 4-second lead now.
Yeah, and one thing that we see that their tyres are pretty much identical. Apex Humper having a little bit better, but being able to drive on worn tyres is a skill on its own compared to, say, quali settings or on that fresh tyres for the first couple laps,
And as you say that, yeah, Tate's just missed the apex on that last left-hander before the run up the start-finish straight. So
Phoenix also got squirrely coming out of the corner, so she's
run
let
wide
Apex
as
up the
well.
inside there.
And yeah, just clear as day open that door. And unfortunately, she's picked up a 2-second penalty.
That is a rough penalty right there.
Into
and
Lagos
she's
is not
into the
kind.
back of Apex Humper under braking, so that's unfortunate
not
for her.
great. She's not had a good lap
lucky,
end
which
of the
she's
lap.
not at the moment. I was going to say she could burn it and still have a gap to CS Packer, but unfortunately her run through the center S's has cost her a fair bit there. And CS Packer's going to take that spot.
Running wide around here is tough because you lose a whole heap of time, you gain dirty tyres, and then you end up getting slapped with the penalty as well. So that definitely would have caused her to run deep into turn 1, which also gave Apex Hunter just that little bit of a tap. So unfortunately that's dropped her back to 5th.
Yeah, back in the battle for 2nd, Apex Humper's closing right up onto the rear bumper at Tate as well, so maybe this is a repeat of last race where he just kind of picks his spot and makes his move when he sees Tate starting to struggle. His tyres are slightly better and maybe he's a little more confident driving on them worn tyres than Tate is.
Yeah, Tate's looking very squirrely at the moment. He's looking like he's finding it tough under brakes and turning. The car's not responding the way he wants it to.
Yeah,
As we see Apex get a slightly better run out of that left-hander, and is looking very racy up to the start-finish straight. So I wonder if Tate's going to play it smart and try and cover off on the inside and prevent Apex from an easy pass. I think Apex gave Tate just a little bit of a bump draft there, accidentally trying to find his way. Oh, Tate's run deep into turn 1. That's going to open the door clean for Apex Humper to run straight through and take a comfortable
Tate's
second place.
getting loose on the corner as well, so he's really
lap
struggling
9
with that
tyre
tyre wear. So just 2 laps to go. We'll see if Tate can hold off the CS Packer and Phoenix coming up for that 3rd position.
This Tate's going to be running on some dirty tyres at the moment, so it's going to affect him for turn 4, but it looks like he's kept it together. And the gap to Tate and CS Packer is slowly dropping, but there's still the last lap. Anything can happen.
Absolutely. It's racing and anything can happen.
What do you reckon?
One thing I can tell you that will happen is I think Diswood's driver value is definitely going to go up, so he's going to be an expensive item on the draft list.
He's already quite high, but I think he's going to punch up even higher than what he is currently.
Will CS Packer stay ahead of Prima Phoenix here?
Also, I think Tate's definitely going to get a big boost in his driver value, valued at only 650,000 at the moment, and competing with the likes of Apex Humpers. I think he's probably going to have about 250,000 added onto that, or somewhere around those points. So,
no doubt.
Phoenix is actually catching CS Packer at a rate where she could take the position. She made up about 1.3 seconds in that previous lap, I think.
Yep, I was going to say there was a 3/10 in the last couple of corners, so she's definitely looking like she wants to take 4th place off the CS Packer.
Back in the battle for 7th as well, Cloacade's got a nice run onto the start-finish straight, coming up past Slidey Bars, looking to go around the outside.
These, Tyler's certainly
both
looking
black
to
and
play.
orange Mustangs.
Certainly starting to play with the guys down in the tail end of the top 10. I'm looking at Slidey Bar's tyres, and they are very much worse for wear.
So you see him run a little wide on that sweeping left as well. Cloacade's going to be in for a good spot if they want to try the move here. Deciding against it, braking nice and early. It's good racecraft. Runs a little wide, so scrubbing them tyres a little bit more. And even though, like I said earlier, Slidey Bar's tyres are looking a fair bit worse, they could just be more comfortable driving on those tyres than Cloacade, maybe a little more experienced driving on more tyres as well, so...
Final lap, this is a battle for 5th now.
Yeah. So Phoenix maybe...
Yeah.
Oh, look at the difference between Smooth Blanket and Phoenix. So what's happened is Smooth Blanket pitted. He got himself some fresh tyres on lap 5. I remember seeing him come in and thinking, wow, that's a bit strange how he's done that, and he has closed right up onto the rear bumper of Phoenix here.
Interesting. Also running through the field as well, looking at fuel levels. Tate's
she's giving him the inside.
Tate with the win.
Diswood
with the win. Apex.
First. The Premier's actually given him the inside coming onto the straight there. I think that's just cost her the spot. I think she could have held it if she held the inside line there.
Falling down to 6th. So Apex Hunter in 2nd, Tate coming home in 3rd, CS Packer 4th. Smooth Blanket has just edged it out in front of Phoenix for 5th, Phoenix in 6th. Cloacade's coming home in 7th, Slidey Bar in 8th, Frosty Top in 9th.
Out of fuel, Frosty Top.
DCE Racing burning a penalty right on the finish line for 10th. Renegade coming home in 11th. We see Oz Tormentor rounding the final turn now, coming home for 12th, and not too far behind Flucker for 13th.
Yeah, so one thing I took from that is Frosty Top managed to run out of fuel. So we saw a fair few fuel gauges throughout the field were flashing, which means they're under 10%, but I don't think anyone was close to running out apart from Frosty Top there. So.
Yeah, I didn't expect to see that. Although having said that, the Mustang is notoriously bad for fuel and tyres, so seeing someone run out of fuel is also not surprising. But fantastic effort again from Diswood to round out first place by, actually, what was the gap? Nearly 6 seconds there in the end. So certainly showing his worth and being able to pull out a fantastic lead while Apex, Tate and Phoenix were battling for a good 7 or 8 laps.
Yeah, I think Phoenix would be a little upset with herself for getting that penalty for just running wide. It happens, I've done it a couple times. You turn in a little bit and you just expect the car to go and it just drifts wide, it catches you out. But I think she'll be looking to take back 4th or higher in this next race. I think she'll be unhappy with finishing behind CS Packer and Smooth Blanket.
Yeah, after making some moves against Apex through races 1 and 2, I would be very surprised if she doesn't end up back in 4th or potentially even 3rd again. So Apex Humper now in a better spot to give Diswood a run for his money coming into race 3. There's a potential chance that those two will stay together, even with Tate hot on their tails again, and open up a potential win for Apex.
Yeah, and a big thing will be if Apex can break away with Diswood or stay on his tail. So we saw Diswood get a gap early on while Apex had to fight with Phoenix and Tate and, chewed up the tyres. Being behind another car, you get the aero wash, your tyres wear a little heavier and all that. So, and Diswood was able to break away out front and clean air and have better tyres for the whole race pretty much. So we'll see if he can stay with Diswood or break away and keep fresh tyres for that race.
Yeah, I agree. If Diswood and Apex want to work together, to make their lives just that little bit easier, they won't go to battle too hard in the first couple laps and just see if they can put their pace to good use and not wear their tyres out too early on. Although Tate, looking back at things, I don't think he's going to be under pressure too much from Packer. But then again, races 1 and 2 have certainly showed that anything can happen.
Yeah, and I think Packer will be looking to hold that spot or improve after last race. So, and I wonder if we'll see any others come in for a stop. As Smooth Blanket showed, the one stop is actually a little viable here.
Yeah, if it proves to be slightly heavier on your tyres, I noticed a couple of them, I'm not actually sure who it was in the end, were basically down to about 20% tyre life left. And by the time you get down to that on a set of softs, it is like driving on ice. So
I think the worst I saw might have been Slarty Bar's tyres on that last lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that group from 4th to 6th, so CS Packer, Smooth Blanket and Phoenix will be very close off the start, and then 1st through 3rd as well, so Diswood, Apex and Tate will be fighting pretty hard as well.
Yeah, agreed. If Phoenix is able to break past both Smooth Blanket and CS Packer, there's a very good chance she'll be able to catch up back to that 1st through 3rd pack and give them a good run for their money yet again.
Yeah, and getting past CS Packer and Smooth Blanket is going to be crucial for her to be able to latch onto the back of those top 3 as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty, let's do it, boys. Last race.
Right.
Looking forward to it. I'm also expecting to see something better from Cloquet. I think he picked up another couple penalties in that race as well. So if he's able to keep it clean, potential for him to move further up the list as well.
Yeah, definitely. Alrighty.
Oh, hang on. Have we seen Renegade not tick in yet?
I thought he ticked in.
He ticked in time.
Doesn't look like he has. Apparently he's saying he ticked in.
Yeah, I know, he just saw it. I actually saw it. We'll have to restart.
Yeah.
I did see him tick in.
Yeah, that's weird. Gran Turismo playing funny buggers with us yet again.
Yep.
Yeah, as we all know, Gran Turismo loves some technical difficulties, so hard to escape them.
It very rarely runs nice and smooth, so we'll see everyone red flag and jump out for a restart for race 3 as well. There we go. So yeah, picks on race 3. If Diswood gets off to a great start, I think he's got a chance of taking a clean sweep race 1 through 3.
Yeah, I really want to see Apex stick with him. I want to see Apex give him a challenge.
Yep.
I agree.
I think it's going to be crucial for Apex to just not fight as hard as he had to.
Yeah, I think most of the move, or most of the control, is with Apex for the first couple laps. Looking at it, if he's going to be looking racy, then he can start making moves against Diswood, and then that'll end up slowing them both down and bring the rest of the pack back into contention for the front runners. So if Apex wants to play it, play it a certain way to be able to break away, then he'll stick behind Diswood for first couple laps. Unless, of course, clean overtake opens up, then he's by no means going to knock that back.
Yeah, and we've seen at the start of the races, Diswood's lost that first position to Tate a couple of times, so I think it'll be crucial for him to hold that spot, just like it was last race, to keep that clean air, because he seems like he runs a lot better without a car directly in front of him.
Yeah, definitely. Something else to note as well, Diswood is on the controller, so
really?
I'm very surprised to see that he's been able to manage the car control and also manage his fuel and tyres. So he's obviously put many an hour in on the controller, and he's certainly proving his worth tonight.
Absolutely. Managing your tyres on a controller is a hard task, but,
especially in the Mustang.
He's put the time in to learn that, so very delicate on his inputs with such a small
range of motion.
Range, yeah, so
we see them all fairly clean through the first run through the centre S's and down to turn 4.
It's looking like DCE wants to make a move for 9th on Frosty Top here coming into turn 4.
Things a little bit better off a break, a little bit early.
Frosty Top did a great job defending it on the brakes there, but he's still opened up the inside for DCE to have a look. Doesn't quite get the overlap there.
The Oztel Mentor looking for a move through Renegade as well for 11th place. Gets a move done.
And that battle for, as we expected, that battle for 4th is on, and Smooth Blanket's picked up a 1 second penalty already.
Oh, that hurts for the Smooth Blanket. This early on to pull a 1 second penalty is going to hurt him. He's going to lose a lot of track position on that.
Yeah, and we see it at the front, Diswood's already out of slipstream range from Apex Humper, so
he's been able to pull it out
to
about a second.
Rocket ship of a start there, as has Apex Humper back to Tate.
Yep, similar position for them, so looking like they're going to settle into their own groove, their own set of air, and not get an advantage, while CS Packer and Smooth Blanket are within striking range of each other and up to Tate.
Whoa, who was that?
Have we seen someone go around?
Maybe it's Smooth Blanket.
Made a move on Cloquet. Smooth Blanket ran very wide on the sweeping left-hander there. Could open him up to a move into turn 4 here. Goes defensive right before the braking zone. Burns a little bit of that penalty off in the braking zone as well, so I guess being an exhibition round, burning your penalty before the line or on the start-finish straight isn't as crucial. We're just trying to see the pace of these guys so we know where they kind of fit in.
Yeah, definitely. Typically you'd be burning it on the same lap that you receive it, but like you say, given it's an exhibition, it's more about figuring out where you fit as a driver into the lobby system of wheel-to-wheel rather than the driver value rather than your ability to burn a penalty. See the rest of the field settled in fairly nicely too. Some even gaps opening up.
Ooh, Flacker's dropped back to 13th.
I think Flacker started there after that spin last race, but They've
okay,
made up
yep.
about 3 seconds or so on Renegade here. In the last couple laps after having a rough start. Looks like they could be within range, as Renegade doesn't have any slipstream, so Flacker might be able to make his way past up the inside into turn 1 here. Got a massive overspeed.
The gaps are starting to open back up, so we're seeing about 1.2 from Diswood to Apex, and about 1.5 from Apex to Tate.
Oh,
so...
Prema's up the inside of Smooth Blanket. Sorry to cut you off there, but Smooth Blanket running really wide out of turn 3 again. And giving Prema the look up the inside. Beautifully done.
Gotten the move done in the entrance to turn 4. Fantastic.
And we see CS Pack is still hanging on to the slipstream at Tate as well, so we saw they were able to stay in touch with that first group when they were battling early on last race, and then kind of when the tyre wear took over, they dropped that a fair bit. So.
Yeah, well, CS Packer, he's been one I haven't been able to figure out at all since, but for him to be up right there behind Tate, that's, he's going to get a big adjustment.
Yeah, there's going to be a fair amount of driver value adjustment after tonight's races, so it's certainly good to see some pace.
Phoenix will get a nice bump in hers too.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of these people aren't going to be as cheap as what they are currently, so that might hurt them for a team position, or it might catch the eyes of some of the fellow team owners. And,
it could also it could throw out the team budget for some teams as well. It could mess up some working out that people have done throughout it all.
Yeah, so being a first-time team owner myself for Season 7, it's been one of the tough parts of being a team owner. And we see Smooth Blanket try to make a dive down the inside of Phoenix, but overcooks it and just hands that position back. Ends up hurting himself more. He's just within the slipstream strength, so we might see some further action from those two.
Yeah, and I don't think Phoenix will be too happy about having a fight for that position for 3 laps. I'm sure she wants to get on the rear bumper of CS Packer and show that she's got the pace to catch back up to Tate and possibly the others ahead. Apex Up is slowly closing the gap up to Diswood, actually, now down to 9/10, or just under a second, after it being about 1.5 last lap, so possibly a mistake from Diswood, or just a really good section from Apex Humper closing up that gap.
I think it's just a really good section. Looking at the lap times from Diswood, he's done a 1:30.96 and a 1:30.95 for lap 2 and 3. So his consistency is certainly showing through now, and Apex must have had a better sector 2 to be able to pull that gap slightly down.
Just see here as they come across the line, I feel like Diswood, he might be running a high 31 here from seeing sector times compared to his last very low one. So yeah, 7/10 off his fastest there as he comes across the line. But he's brought that gap out a little bit in the final sector, so showing his strength in that final sector over Apex Humper, maybe getting the better run onto the straight or something. As Phoenix is back within slipstream range of CS Packer as well.
Yeah, she's certainly not hanging about. After picking up that penalty, burning it, and then dropping those couple of places last race, she's certainly out to impress in
back
race
for 7th as well, sorry. Cloacade's pulling alongside DCE coming into turn 4, thinks better of it though, pulls back in.
Oh, DC up to 7th.
Deep.
Slowly making his way.
Go deep out onto the curbing. That's going to open it up for Slidey Bar to get a good run too.
It's good to see DCR work his way back up through the pack, through each race.
Yeah, absolutely.
A rough one last race,
DCE was able to get away with the penalty there, and unfortunately Cloacade has picked up a 1.5 seconds, so it'll be interesting to see if they decide to burn it as they're going side by side. Oof. Fantastic car control to go too wide through this section of the course. It's certainly not easy. Or as we see, a big crisscross from Cloacade, and he wants that position back, and he's done it.
And back in the battle for 4th, Phoenix is now within 3/10 of CS Packer, and is going to have a nice run onto the straight through turn 1. And Smooth Blanket's just hanging onto the back of him as well. So
yeah, great job.
4th is picking up again.
Great job, Smooth Blanket as well. Ooh, interesting.
From mid-race, Smooth Blanket.
Okay.
So he saw what Smooth Blanket did last race.
Yeah,
decided to change his strat.
They've adapted on race 3.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good to see.
And that's the beauty of having the 3 races and 2 that are the same, is you can adjust your strategy for the second one.
So Diswood and Apex have
coming in here.
Diswood and Apex chosen to stay out.
Plugged in as well. Their tyres are looking fairly good still. Apex's are slightly better, and their fuels. Apex is slightly better on fuel as well.
Yeah, while we were talking about that, Phoenix has actually made the move on CS Packer, is now up into 3rd, obviously with Tate making that pit stop.
Yeah, nice work.
But on some fresh tyres for the next 5 laps, Tate's only about 4 seconds behind Phoenix, so he could be a late charge up the field to try and take back that 3rd position. I don't think he'll probably get close to the top 2, but...
Yeah, top 2 have certainly managed to break away with a 6-second gap between Apex Hunter and Prima Phoenix. However, like you say, Tate has now pulled that down by 7 or 8 tenths in his outlap already to CS Packer, so he is going to be looking very racy towards the end of this stint.
Absolutely, and if I'm Phoenix right here, I'm hoping that if I can hold 3rd position from CS Packer, that when Tate catches up, CS Packer puts up a massive fight and slows them both down so she can get away a little bit more and maybe not have to get pushed by them soft tyres.
Yeah, definitely.
We've seen the pace of Tate with them tyres, and it's going to be massive towards the end here, I think.
As we also see Slidey Bars ducked into the pits as well, so he's seen a couple others do a
late pit stop.
So he's going to come out on lap 7 for the last 3 laps. Wonder if that's going to work out for him.
4 laps, including lap 7.
His pack is doing great.
Oh, as you say that, he runs a little bit wide. Might cut up, might catch himself with a penalty there, and they do at 1 second. So Fine Moves has just put the curse on him within seconds of saying it. They've run a little wide, but Tate will be loving seeing that, as will Phoenix. But that's going to bring Tate right up onto the back, and Tate's actually closed up a lot in
Tate's already
the
down
first half of this lap.
Less than a second. So when he came out of the pits, it was nearly 4, and he's now brought it down to sub 1 second. So certainly proving a worth that some fresh tyres can give you a really good edge, and if you can make the overtake stick when you need it to without battling too much, can certainly prove to be quite a good strategy.
So we'll see to the inside here. It's Bernie's penalty on the start finish straight.
There we go.
As
Bernie's penalty.
the new rules state that you're supposed to, which is good. Means he's read up on the rules, familiarised with them, which is great to do. I know there's a fair few to read through when you join, and it might take a little bit of time, but it's best to do so you just know you don't have to ask too many questions about it.
Diswood pulling away.
So it's going to be one to watch. Phoenix and Tate are only split by about 1.2 seconds, 1.3 seconds. And Tate's tyres, after his pit stop, are looking fantastic in comparison to Phoenix. So
it's looking like Oil's been driving that thing for 7 laps.
The tyre wizard has certainly made his mark for doing long stints and being able to manage his tyres.
Yeah. Back for 5th as well. After serving that penalty, CS Pack has fallen behind Smooth Blanket as well. Still within slipstream range, but Smooth Blanket, having been one of the few cars to stop, has them fresher tyres, so it'll be very tough for CS Packer to close up that gap. Tate's now made up another half a second on Phoenix, as she runs a little wide through the left-hander there. So that tyre wear just causing you to run a little bit wide. And it looks like Tate might be able to get her coming onto the straight. Whoa, as he gets a little bit loose on the exit of the corner.
It's certainly showing that the mid-race pit stop has proven its worth right about here. We can see Phoenix is just a little bit squirrely on the entrance into the final left-hander, and Tate is just all over the back.
Yeah, and she's leaving the room there. She's seen how fast Tate's closed up onto the back, and maybe thinking, like, if I just let him pass, I can tag along in the slipstream or so.
Left that door wide open.
Absolutely. And she even brakes probably 20 metres earlier than she might have, or 10 metres earlier than she might have, to make sure that Tate goes on through.
Yep. Tate will pull away here,
very
though.
respectful racing.
Fantastic clean racing, which is exactly what we want to see for newcomers to wheel to wheel. So.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And back in with CS Packer and Smooth Blanket, so Smooth Blanket has pulled 1.5 seconds on CS Packer that lap. So really showing how much those fresh tyres are helping as they run right on the track limits. And now the hunt is on to see if Smooth Blanket can catch up to Phoenix and maybe take her on the last lap as he did last race as well.
Yeah, I could imagine being in Phoenix position at the moment, having Tate come blasting past you and then also watching that delta fall between Smooth Blanket is... I wonder if it's playing on her nerves or if she's just keeping her head down and just focusing on her own race. There is only a lap and a bit to go. There's quite a large gap for Smooth Blanket to both close and then make an overtake as well.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I'd love that some people have gone for the one stop, and you know, my preference when racing is I want the racier car towards the end. So if I have to one stop and have them fresher tyres towards the end, I love running through the field and making overtakes on cars with worse tyres than you, because you know you can brake that little bit later, you can push that little bit harder through the corner and try and take it.
As well as if you're right in the mirrors of somebody else, then you can force... It's ultimately forcing a small error, and then you can just clean up and take that position right away.
Yeah. It can also help in terms of getting yourself clean air as well. So if you're in like a really tight battle like Tate, like Phoenix, as you see Phoenix is just swerving along this straight on the run up to turn 4, just getting comfy in the car, I guess. You know, it can get you out of that battle and you stop losing time fighting for that position, and then you can undercut them maybe, or, you know, you come back with them fresher tyres. So that one stop can play a huge part. As you see, Tate's brought a 3-second gap out to Phoenix now.
Also watching Smooth Blanket, he's down to just a couple of tenths now.
So we'll see if Phoenix can defend that position like she could have last race. And take the inside line. She brakes very early on the inside to make sure she makes the corner with them worn tyres. So I think if she focuses on getting a good exit out of this final corner here and holds the inside line, I think she can hold off Smooth Blanket. Smooth Blanket looks like he's focusing on getting a really good run out. He actually does get a better run out of the corner than Phoenix, so if she goes defensive along the line, as Diswood claims the sweep, followed by Apex Humper. So congratulations to Diswood, Apex Humper showing your worth as always. Smooth Blanket pulling alongside Phoenix for the line. 21 thousandths of a second between them. CS Packer coming home, claiming 6th position. DCE's 40's way up to 7th. Very well done by DCE. Cloakade carrying a penalty up to the line with Slidey Bar just 2 tenths behind. So Slidey Bar is going to take that position from Cloakade for 8th and 9th. Oz Tormentor and Flucker are side by side as well, just half a tenth separating them for 11th and 12th. And Frosty Top coming across the line in 13th.
Wow, another action-packed race for our exhibition here, and again, Diswood showing his worth, coming out with a clean sweep for the win in race 3.
I can't wait to see what all of these drivers can do throughout Season 7. And I hope this gives them a little taste of what the quality of wheel-to-wheel racing can be.
What you can expect. Yep, absolutely.
As my game is glitched out and I see a Mustang going backwards down the start-finish straight. Alright.
Gotta love it. There again, Apex has come through and certainly shown his worth, being a top-tier Div 1 driver throughout Season 6, and just wasn't able to pit Diswood in the end.
Yeah, and I think with those results, I think Apex will be happy with how he's kind of represented, like the current members of Div 1 against these new guys that are coming in. I think he'll be happy with his performance. Maybe a few mistakes that he's not happy about, but yeah, Diswood definitely showing that he's going to be one to look out for. Phoenix again, Tate as well. CS Packer, there's so many guys who are going to be up in those Div 1 and 2 lobbies that are going to... I think they're going to shuffle a couple guys out. I think there's going to be a few guys who get booted out of those lobbies.
Yep, there's probably going to be a couple upset people throughout the Div 1 lobbies, especially looking at the likes of Diswood, Tate, and potentially even Phoenix.
Yeah, definitely.
She's able to run through the first few opening races, opening rounds within Season 7.
Yeah.
I think this will definitely these results will definitely catch the eye of some team owners as well for potential pickups, you know, in the draft and stuff like that. Because
agreed.
Yeah.
Knowing Diswood has been placed, I think he's just outside of the top 9 at the moment, maybe just outside of the top 10. Looking at tonight's races, I'm expecting him to be adjusted and put right up there. So he'll fall into the draft, and
I think he might get put into the top 6 and be one of the mandatory.
I thought he was in the top 6 already. Because we're not counting the.
He is in 6th actually. My bad. So yeah.
Yeah, he's already in.
So he's going to become one of those lottery picks that gets assigned to one of the 6 teams that don't have a top 8 driver already.
So Diswood's sitting 9th at the moment overall. So I'm expecting him to be punched up just that little bit more, which, like you say, will certainly bring him into that top 8.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well,
I think Tate's going to be a big mover as well, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Tate, Phoenix.
CS Packer's only rated at 390 at the moment, so that's going to be a massive jump for him.
Yeah, Smooth Blanket did really well. I know maybe not getting adjusted for the draft value as he's done a season with us, but he did really well tonight against some very tough competition.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, guys. Let's wrap it up. Thanks for commentating, and we'll see you guys Sunday night for round 3 of the off-season.
Yep, absolutely.
Alrighty, cheers. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you.